So we are over at the main stage here at UK Construction Week, and the last talk of the day has just wrapped up, and one of the key speakers was the wonderful Dan Cook, who's here to tell us a little bit about some of the really key conversations that were going on. But before we get to that, Dan, if anyone's sort of watching right now, perhaps who doesn't know what it is that you do, can you just let us know?
Yeah, look, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Active Building Centre. It's a role I've had since the beginning of this year. I come to this role having previously headed up the Landscape Institute, and before that was Director of Strategy at RICS. So I've been no stranger to the world of energy efficiency of buildings and climate action for some time, and it's really nice to be in a research and technology organisation that's been funded under Transforming Construction Challenge funding to actually look at integrating renewable energy systems into buildings and looking at research and innovation and data around that. And so today was really exciting because it was the first chance to launch our first blueprint from the last 3 years of efforts from our whole team.
Yeah, that must be so exciting. And like you said, it's that build-up, getting ready to actually push something live. So for anyone who missed your talk, perhaps watching this for the first time, can you just give us a few key takeaways, maybe a bit more about your blueprint and some of those important topics? Yeah,
look, so firstly, I want to do a big shout out to some of the team members who helped write the blueprint, who wrote key chapters in it. Pragya Gupta, Joe Atkinson, Andrew Jeffries and Mark Jackson among our team were key people who actually helped create this blueprint. It's been drawn from the work of our whole team across more than 100 different real-life construction projects, a lot in Wales, a lot through England, and across all different sectors that relate to construction. So they've worked on projects with education, with industrial sites, with housing, with government agencies, with housing and modular construction firms, and right across the spectrum of both new build and some retrofit as well. So what we've done is we've sought to package the insights up from what we've learned so far today. It's going to be a blueprint that we keep live and keep updating, and we've kind of taken a life cycle approach looking at what people can do in the construction sector, whether they're in design, planning, construction, or the importance of in-use and monitoring of outcomes for renewable energy technologies in buildings. And it's possible now to design buildings that are net zero operational energy. Still a bit to go on embodied carbon, I think we all know that, but there's lots of innovation out there around better use of materials, some of which we cover in our report as well. But we've really been focused on trying to get the right selection of technologies, helping equip the construction sector to know what's possible out there, and do a little bit of trialling what works and what doesn't when it comes to integrating different technologies together. So if people want to download our blueprint, they can find it at activebuildingcentre.com/blueprint. And very simple, and they can register and get sent to them today. It's live now. Later in the year, we'll also be releasing a few more detailed case studies on some of the projects that we covered today. And obviously tomorrow, for anyone who's coming to Construction Week tomorrow and Grand Designs Live tomorrow at this site in Birmingham, we've got some of our technical team talking around projects at 2 p.m. And both Kerry Mashford, our non-exec director, and I will also be on some of the panels, both here at Construction Week, as well as I think we're on at 10:30 first thing tomorrow. So be here, and we're going to talk a little bit around the way forward and what we'd like to see being done differently for both, whether it be research innovation, for governments, and indeed the sector itself here. So there's lots to do. The building sector is not where it needs to be on low carbon, and we've got a long way to go to help move the sector where it needs to go, and to help accelerate and share the learning and help get there quicker.
That's amazing. I mean, just a few things going on there. And I'm not going to keep you too long because I know that you are super busy and you've just been talking for nearly an hour. Okay. So, but from wandering around today and meeting some of the wonderful exhibitors that we've got going on, sustainability, circular economy, all those words that we're hearing really are driving through as a bit of a theme. Yeah. Is it nice to see that and a bit of a positive to see that moving forward, and actually what you're doing can complement that?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're not where we need to be, but there's lots of drivers coming now from the finance sector. Lots of listed companies are having to report, and that is flowing through supply chains everywhere. And so what I see is our work helps equip that supply side, helps share the learning, what works, what doesn't as well, what to do, what not to do, and if we can share that knowledge more and get people equipped, then we can move faster on that journey to net zero. And I think that's in everyone's interests. I think particularly I've seen some of the fantastic work being done by some of the next generation of construction professionals. I think you've got like the Zero Next group that was launching here and all. That's quite exciting, and I could see even in our audience today, lots of the younger professionals really embracing this agenda and knowing that we do have a climate and biodiversity crisis, and the construction sector needs to play its part in finding the solutions going forward and driving down carbon emissions, and most importantly what we would say is also improving the comfort for occupants and helping address some of those social inequalities that exist, particularly at a time of energy crises. Generating your own energy and reducing the demand in your own home can make a massive difference to the bottom line of your household, and on a week to week, and being able to pay the bills, and and living a comfortable life. So that's super important to us as well, not to forget that it's people who use our buildings, and we need to have that front and centre in buildings and construction of the future.
Dan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I mean, there is so much in that blueprint, and you can come down tomorrow to the main stage, or over in Grand Designs Live. You'll be over there too, to have a little chat with Dan and the team to find out more about the wonderful work that they've been doing. Thank you very much
for having us today. Thank you.
Welcome.